Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe, and today I'm back with a new Let's Play. Now this time I thought I'd do something proper and see it through to the end in true fashion, but the kind of question of what faction to go as kind of really has been on my mind a lot lately. You know, picking a faction is often, well, judgmental to how successful or how fun a Let's Play can be for me and you guys. So basically, I've come up with 3 different options which I'd like to play as, and I'll go through the reasons for each one as we go through, and then I'll kind of make my decision in a minute when I've discussed kind of the reasons why. So the first one that I wanted to play as, if I can find it, is Britain. Now this is a patriotic thing, obviously, is I'm playing with a lot of mods on, and they do add a lot of new units, a lot of new possibilities and things like that. And I've had a look, and the units for the British faction and things like that are really good, really cool. They're not OP, they're just different, and you know, there's much more variety with all these mods on, etc. And I've got a lot of mods on, guys. Stuff like graphical enhancements, because I can actually do that now. I've got my new PC, but that's mainly the reason, apart from the patriotic side of things and me wanting to conquer the world as Britain, just because I'm from Britain. It's mainly because it's got a lot of cool units, etc. But that's like all of these factions now, which brings me on to my second faction, which I'd like to play as, if I can find them. I wanted to play as Egypt. Now Egypt's a tricky one because it's sometimes difficult to start off with, and can be a bit slow going, but I really do like the settings of the battles, etc. And they do have some really cool units as well with these mods on, instead of just the Egyptian infantry and everything. So there's a lot of possibility for the units in the future, things like that I can work towards. And the last faction that I really want to play as is something a bit different, so one of these cavalry factions. But really that's last on my list because I've tried playing as one of these before, and really it just doesn't suit my kind of play style. And they are really quite challenging to do. Compared to a lot of other factions. Now I'm trying to stay away from the Greek factions here, because a lot of people always start off as the Greek factions. There's a lot of Greeks, a lot of Parthia, not a lot of Pontus, but I've done a bit of that before. But yeah, you know, the Mediterranean tribes, especially Carthage and Rome, have been done a lot, so I want to do something a little bit different. So I thought I'd start off today by doing the Iceni campaign. Is pretty much where I was going with the whole idea, is to conquer Britain and go from there, which I thought was a good idea to start from, and we'll see where it goes. So before we go, we'll just check these settings. Now in the background you might be able to hear some music. Now that music is actually from the original Rome Total War, as you can hear in the background. This brings back nostalgia like hell, but I absolutely love it. It's a mod on the Steam Workshop that you guys can pick up, and it's basically a combination of some custom soundtracks that are thrown in there as well, as mixed with some of the original Rome Total War soundtracks, and it really does bring the game alive. It really does, compared to the original soundtrack that Rome 2 has. Because the original Rome 2 soundtrack isn't great. I mean, it's good and it does the job, but it could be a lot better in my personal opinion. So with that in mind, I'm quite glad that I've managed to find a mod, and they've kind of really thought about the kind of music they've put to each section of the game, which is always nice to see. But yeah, this really does bring back a lot of memories to do with Rome Total War 1. That was one of the most original games, and I'm sure you guys would agree, that got me into PC gaming, apart from Age of Empires and things like that. Rome Total War was a game I poured hours into my... and yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. Okay, so carrying on, I'm just going to edit some settings quickly here before we get into the game properly. Make sure we've got everything kind of how it should be, so it's not too overbearing for you guys, and with my voice is kind of where I'm going with that. So basically guys, this is Britain. Now, as you can see, there's a few little graphical enhancements around the map here. Immediately I don't recognise this being here. I could be wrong, but this really does add a lot of graphical improvements, and I'm just going to make another edit quickly to this sound, because it actually is, there you go, and then it will go back up in volume as soon as I stop. There we go, that's about right, I think. But let's see what we can do here. As you can see, it's very limited, but that's kind of how it is always, pretty much with the Iceni at the beginning. So we'll see what we can build here to get things going. Oh crap, that's a lot of different buildings. So we can unlock a lot of different riders there if we go for the stables or the horse pens, which might be a good option actually to begin with. Because to get the advantage over cavalry, over some of our rival factions here. Now, as you can see with the mods I'm playing on as well, which are listed in the description by the way, you'll see that this faction over here, which is usually independent at the beginning of a normal game, and so is Wales, they're actually part of me as the kind of southern UK. Now, as history goes, that's actually fairly accurate. Although there was interlinking tribes down here that did fight, etc. I think to start off as kind of like United South is very beneficial for me. Generally, a lot more management and options as we go into the initial part of the game here. Compared to what the vanilla offers anyway. So really we can focus on the north and taking Ireland, and from then we can obviously move south, which really just speed up the campaign gameplay I think quite a lot, which is always good obviously. So let's get building some stuff regardless, because I think we need to figure out what we're going to do here. So we've only got 7 food, but that's not too bad. Now I'm going to expand. Let's have a look what we got. We're going to probably want that around there. Okay then, so we've built this. Wait, have we built the horse pens? I've completely. Yeah, okay, so that gives us the advantage straight away over cavalry, what I'm hoping anyway. And then we'll be able to we'll upgrade that as well. It will give us minus 1 food, sorry. Right, but that's not really a problem at the moment, because I don't think we're building anything that's really going to reduce food too much in the short term. I think that's all about what we can do at the moment. I'm going to go and place this small army here on the north border, and I need to check diplomacy. That's always important to do. We're not very friendly towards the Atribes or Atribates, which are just across the channel there, which could be problematic. However, we do have some allies that are friendly with us there next to them, so hopefully that will work to our advantage in the future. But we're not very liked by the north, so that's probably where I'm going to go first and see if we can make any progress military wise up there. Would probably be the best option. Now we'll just leave the taxes for normal at the moment. Now I usually raise taxes, as funny as this sounds, during times of war actually, which is strange because usually a lot of people lower them, but I like to raise them as much as possible to fund my efforts, because during times of war I find myself recruiting a lot more, and just generally my expenditures across my kingdom go up a lot. So it kind of works both ways, I suppose. There is obviously an equal balance that needs to be maintained, but generally I do raise my taxes. It's a bit different, but it's kind of my style, I suppose. I'm going to do another one of those for the simple fact that I know as soon as we get that, it's going to give me several different options there on the tree to go different ways. So I'm going to want more than just the one. Now on this we're going to give some public order for the province down south, so we can eventually leave no armies here, because at the moment we're not that good as a whole province, or most of a province, without armies stationed, so that's not going to be too good. So we're going to need to raise the happiness of our general population. We're also going to raise that up, and then we'll just end the turn again. But I've been enjoying this game a lot more since I got the new system. And I think this game, a lot of it is dependent on the system you run it on. Well, that's a lot of games, I suppose, when it comes to PC, but generally speaking, the games are a lot more enjoyable when you do get a nice system to play them on. But obviously, getting a nice system is problematic in the first place financially. But I managed to do it eventually, after saving up for quite a while. But if you've got a nice system and you want to check out Rome 2, I'd definitely recommend doing so. You'd enjoy it. You know, it's a good strategic game. However, you know, from launch there's a lot of stuff missing. I'm sure that you've probably, if you are interested in this game, have read several reviews about this before, etc. About the pros and cons of this game compared to the past Total War games in the series. And there are certain negatives about this one that I personally do find. For me, they're not too big of an issue, but they are for some people, and I know that. But nonetheless, I'm enjoying doing this Let's Play already, as it is, and hopefully we'll be able to get into action before this ends. Anyway, so that should be good. Now let me have a look here what our trade's like. We've got no trade at all, so that's something we could possibly look to do in the future with the southern people next to the Atribiates, or whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah, okay, that was kind of right. I'm quite happy. So we've got a Gaelic Bard, can't sing a note, household expands, so we've got a new trait gained. Okay, that's all positive, so that's good. Construction complete. Encouraged populace, that's always good. Unseasonal conditions, not good. So we got encouraged, but they're unseasonal conditions. Stribers joined, another strengthening their bond, right. The Celtiberian Confederation. Right, who is that? The Turdetani. They're not in Britain, are they? No, okay, so that's probably somewhere in Europe. And last but not least, troops have been recruited. So, not too bad. Let's have a look what else we can train here. So we can go either way here. Really, I'm going to take the advantage, as weird as this sounds, of archers early on, as well as cavalry, because I can use the levy freeman we get given to kind of form shield walls and just hold them there while my archers pin them down, because a lot of the units I think we'll be facing earlier on in this are not going to be very armoured units at all, which means that ranged units and cavalry units are going to have a much better impact, or more impact in terms on the battlefield than, say, infantry would. Compared. So here's our new riders. We've got some barbarian lancers, some Celtic cavalry. Now they look alright. Quite a lot of armour on them as well, which is always good to see, especially this early on in the campaign. Some Britain scout riders, some picked riders as well, and some horse skirmishers. Now they are ranged units, so they can come in very helpful as well. And we also have been given some spearmen and some longbowmen there as well. We'll be given more advanced bowmen, I'm sure, when this upgrade is completed. Now this, actually, what I want to do is I want to go straight into the slavery, but actually wait, no I do not. That is a good point, because being Britain, we do have a very large negative when it comes to the taking of prisoners off the battlefield. We do show no quarter. That's obviously a trait that comes with playing as the Iceni by default, so it might not be the best course of action really to have the slave thing, so I don't think we'll be taking that many from the battles, depending on obviously who I'm fighting, etc. Compared to being other factions anyway. So I'm going to see which way we can go from here. We can go for Britannic spears, or we can just go for the normal spear kind of. I think for this we'll go with that one. So I want the barbarian spearmen and some axemen. That gives me more, and we get javelin men from that as well, so it gives me more of a variety of units to use on the battlefield, which is always good. And last but not least, I think actually we'll just save the funds we've got at the moment. Actually, I think we can upgrade the happiness of our population there. And we'll put these guys into defensive positions for now. And we'll see what they're up to in this village here. I'll tell you what, we'll poison the wells. Let's see if we can cause a bit of havoc up there before we move in. There we go. It's always good. I don't know if he's going to get upgraded or not. Yep, he is. Okay, that's always good. Right, so we'll go with evading enemy agents. We want him to be invisible as possible so I can move him swiftly around the map without being seen. Now, one thing to note with this new DLC, not DLC, sorry, mods more than anything, I don't have any DLC for this game apart from what is free LC that comes, you know, standard. For the simple fact that, well, for more than one reason, I won't go into detail. But things like this with the kind of pollution near swamps is something I absolutely love, because during history studies you actually do learn a bit about, well, when I used to do GCSE anyway, you learn a bit about why the Roman army, etc. didn't go near swamps. So it's good to see that kind of really authentic, kind of strategic thought process, I suppose, that you can kind of use while you're commanding your armies and placing them. Because swamps were obviously a place of disease and, you know, illness, or they were thought to be, which is true. There was quite a lot of disease and illness there. So it is generally good to see that type of thing being implemented into the game, to be quite honest. Right, our general's leveled up, that's always good to see. I don't know what that's, he's got that trait that we saw earlier. You know, what we got on him. I think he could do with a bit more authority. I want a lot of authoritative figures, and we'll have, you know, the faster we can make the enemy rout, the better, to be honest. So we'll have that. We'll minus the enemy's morale by 5%. That might come in useful, especially later on in the game, facing larger factions. If the general's still alive by then, which I hope he will be. I'm not planning on losing him too soon. Right, looking at the armies, they have a lot stronger units than we do at the moment. I'm guessing they're allies. What I'll do is I will go into diplomacy here. We need to have a look onto the faction screen. They're actually at war with the colour. Okay, they're actually at war with the north, which isn't actually a bad thing, because we can let them battle it out and move in with a smaller force and clean up this kind of province here. It's going to be me making some more cavalry though, so we do need to get those trained up. And we'll train quite a few of them actually for now, while the rest of our military buildings do build up. And the only concerns I have obviously is with the, I think is going to be the happiness and general stability of the province once I move my army or armies up north. I think what I might have to do is move my northern kind of army guarding the border south while I move this larger army up north to attack the enemy, because otherwise I think we might have a few difficulties with wow, they've got quite a bit of range on them, those ones, aren't they? They're longbowmen, so that's 165 range. They have quite a lot of damage. Or should I go for 145 range? I'm going to go for the longest range ones I possibly can, because then if the enemy bring any ranged units, it's going to give me an advantage, because obviously if they're going to have the same units as I have, that's obviously going to be an issue. So, it looks like they were attacked, but it didn't go too successfully by the looks of things. We'll go up north and see where this army ran to. They're probably in the trees somewhere here, or they were obliterated completely, which is entirely possible. But the only concerns I do have actually, looking at the diplomacy screen for this faction here, is that they're very good friends with these, with the Ebdani, which is bad for me in a way. Obviously at the moment I don't think their focus is entirely on me. I think it's to do with the hostile kind of relations with the Caledones up north. And hopefully it will stay that way, because if they come south it could be a large issue for me, because I don't have anything protecting Moridunan. I think that's how you pronounce it, over there in Wales. Non-aggression pact. You see, I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm going to need to actually conquer you. You see, that's the plan anyway. Technological advancement. Turns of war. Okay, that's good. Household expands. That's another good trait by the looks of things. Always good to see. Meeting hall, blacksmith, and fisherman's hut is complete. Inspired populace and the quartermaster's report. That's just telling me what's been trained. Wow. Okay, so we can train everyone up there to be better in melee. I don't know why I needed to do that for my... I'm actually going to get rid of these slingers here to cut costs for now, because we don't actually need them. Picked marauders. Now they look like they're going to come in very useful. Botanic spearmen also. And blooded youth. I'm not really sure about putting them onto the battlefield, to be quite honest. You know, we'll go for picked marauders now, because they are axe warriors, which means hopefully they'll form quite a offensive force. Well, I'm hoping they're going to form an offensive force anyway. Okay then, ends this turn. Well, things are not going too badly at the moment, I'd say. Things are going relatively well actually, in terms of we haven't been attacked yet, and it's actually allowing me to build up my forces down south whilst I get myself sorted out, which is always good. So it's a sacred of barbarian life. The Celts, for example, observe the major festivals of the year, blah 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 blah. Slaughter fires will let the guards against coming darkness. The animals were slaughtered, and an almighty feast would follow. Good. Well, it's always good to know when people are enjoying themselves, because they're going to need to, because we're going to be at war soon. Right, I think really what we could do is get a few more defensive units to hold the line. It's kind of my battle plan here, like so, and then get one more unit of, what should we say, we'll get another unit of the longbowmen there at the end. So another 2 turns and we'll quickly just whiz through these, and then we should be able to move north as fast as possible anyway, and see if we can do some damage to the factions up north, which should be good. I'm hoping it's going to be good anyway. Okay. Let's upgrade this army up north. One more turn there. Let's have a look what buildings have been done. We need to research that as well, and we should be all good to go. But I did say, if you haven't seen my build video, my most recent build video, my summer 2014 build, I was talking about the wait for the turn times here compared to my old system, and this system really does just whiz through it compared. And that's the votive offering, so something else is going good, which is always good. I'll tell you what we'll do. We need to move this army south, or bring it out of that stance anyway. If we just bring it into normal. Bring it down here. Bring that army up north. Oh, they seem stuck on each other. There we go. Bring them up north. Okay, so we'll see what the... they're mini-men, aren't they? Let's bring these back down south. I think they're doing like a little bit of a counter-attack by the looks of things, which gives us an opportunity, actually. But nonetheless, guys, thank you for watching this first episode of this Let's Play. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm sorry we didn't get into any combat as of yet. I'll be sure to do so in the future. Next episode, we should definitely get into some combat. Check in for the next episode, guys, and I'm sure I'll see you guys there. Leave a like and a comment on this video if you did enjoy it. And leave me some feedback as well as to any questions or queries you have, or just anything you want to put. So I hope to hear from you guys again, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching.